Encaustic painting is art and painting with beeswax. We're going to dig into the materials, techniques, and history of encaustic painting. The word comes from the Greek encaustikos, which means to burn in, referring to the process of fusing with heat. Encaustic painting has a rich history because of its resilience. It's used in funeral paintings to memorialize the dead and has been found as a common medium in paintings throughout history. Encaustic painting today can take on so many different looks, partially because there are so many ways to utilize beeswax to create artwork, and because we have a variety of heating tools at our disposal these days as well. Encaustic is still used throughout art today as both the primary medium or as a part of a mixed media piece of art. Let's talk about how encaustic paints are created. It consists of 8 parts beeswax and 1 part damar resin. This is the base for most paints and can even be used without pigments added. Many pigments can be dangerous when heat is applied, so ventilation is extremely important when using encaustic paint. Pigments can be made, purchased as powders, or they can be purchased as premixed blocks. The premixed blocks are very strong colors and can often be diluted with the encaustic base, as well as mixed to create new colors. You can compartmentalize each color individually, or you can mix them directly on a hot plate. You'll want to keep your hot plate between 200 and 250 degrees so that the wax is melted but not burned. You can buy heat plates specifically for encaustic painting, or you can grab griddles from garage sales or resale stores. It's super important to use natural bristle brushes, as synthetics can melt when exposed to the temperatures of the hot wax. You'll also want a rigid surface that's heat resistant, absorbent, and it's best to avoid flexible surfaces, as the wax can crack easily once dried, cooled, and flexed. Encaustic boards are sold specifically for this purpose, or as long as it meets all the criteria, you can experiment and have fun. Here are some tools you may want to get started on your encaustic journey. Paraffin. This is a less expensive wax that can be used to clean your brushes. Scrapers. You can buy these scrapers specifically for encaustic purposes or find tools that you can use that accomplish the same look you're going for. You can get pretty creative and find inexpensive tools that can help you through your creative process. A heat gun or torch will be a super valuable tool, as you'll use it to fuse each layer of wax to the next. Then you'll want containers that are heat safe and can be warmed up on your hot plate. Tins are really great for this. Now let's talk about some of the various techniques you can use when playing with encaustic paints. Since wax can be fused and layered to itself, it can make a great tool for collage, acting like a decoupage. Monotype is when you paint directly onto the hot plate and then transfer it onto your canvas. Fusing is a technique used to weld each layer of wax to each other and can be used to push and move wax around on the surface. Photo transfers can be transferred onto the wax to create a surreal photo image. Using scrapers and to draw and peel away layers can be a great way to create artistic drawings with beeswax. Adding layers of wax to create sculptural interest and pouring textures onto mediums to create shapes and more texture. And you can utilize the transparent and opaque properties of each type of wax and pigment in each of these techniques to accomplish so many different looks. The limits are truly. Since this presentation is designed more to introduce you to the possibilities of encaustic painting, I'll leave you with some resources to get more artistic instruction, as well as some inspiration. Here are many styles of artwork. My favorite encaustic artist is a beekeeper friend that makes the most lovingly crafted artwork and is often inspired by bees. His name is George Hansen, and I suggest you look him up. You can follow him on Instagram. However, I've included some images by artists, amazing artists, that have used beeswax in such inspiring and whimsical ways. So the possibilities are truly endless, and you can choose any style that appeals to you. YouTube can be a great place to get visual examples and instruction on techniques. Shari has many encaustic videos, and there's tons of art teachers that have encaustic instruction on YouTube as well. I really enjoy the resources at the RF Paints website as well, and there's links to online stores here that can make it easier to purchase materials online, whether it's paint pigments or tools, so you should have a good place to get started. I really hope you enjoyed this introduction to encaustic painting. As beekeepers, it's fun to explore the different ways you can use the beeswax that our bees create. For more examples and ideas of how to use beeswax, tips for beekeepers, and all things honeybees, be sure you follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, where you can follow us in real time.